Welcome once again to Gilbert and Sullivan Radio Theatre. This is your host, Jerry Tracy, inviting you to join us as we survey all 14 of the comic opera masterpieces of Gilbert and Sullivan in chronological order. Our musical highlights are drawn from the vast radio theater collection, and our dialogue excerpts feature our own beloved KBCS players. And now the conclusion of The Grand Duke. The long-awaited Prince of Monte Carlo arrives with his beautiful daughter and ragtag hangers-on. The careful listener will recall that the princess was betrothed to Grand Duke Rudolph on condition that she marry him before her 18th birthday. Let's listen in as they discuss their plans.
Well, my dear, here we are at last, just in time to compel Duke Rudolph to fulfill the terms of his marriage contract. Another hour, and we should have been too late.
Yes, Papa, and if you hadn't fortunately discovered a means of making an income by honest industry, we should have never got here at all.
Very true. Confined for the last 2 years within the precincts of my palace by an obdurate bootmaker who held a warrant for my arrest, I devoted my enforced leisure to a study of the doctrine of chances, mainly with the view of ascertaining whether there was the remotest chance of my ever going out for a walk again. And this led to the discovery of a singularly fascinating little round game which I have called roulette.
Oh, Daddy, you're so wonderful. Oh.
And by which, in one sitting, I won no less than 5,000 francs. My first act was to pay my bootmaker. My second act was to engage a good, useful, working set of second-hand nobles. And my third, to hurry off to Pfennig as fast as a train de luxe could carry us.
Yes, and a pretty job lot of second-hand nobles you've scraped together.
Hey, what did you say?
Pretty, you think? I don't know, I should say Tal, my love. Only Tal. They are not wholly satisfactory. There is a certain air of unreality about them. They are not convincing.
But, my good friend, what could you expect for 8 pence a day?
Now, take this peer, for instance.
This one?
What the deuce do you call him?
Him? Well, he's the, who are you? He's the Duke of Riviera.
Oh, he's a duke, is he? Well, that's no reason why he should look so confoundedly haughty.
Why not?
Be affable, sir.
That's right, be affable.
That's better. Now, who's this with his mustache coming off?
Pick up that mustache. You're the Viscount Menton, aren't you?
That's fine, eh? Yes, it's written right here. Yes, Viscount Menton.
Then why don't you say so?
I'm
Hold yourself up! You ain't carrying sandwich boards now!
Now, once and for all, you peers. When His Highness arrives, don't stand like sticks, but appear to take an intelligent and sympathetic interest in what is going on. You needn't say anything, but let your gestures be in accordance with the spirit of the conversation.
But, Papa, where in the world is the court? There's positively no one here to receive us. I can't help feeling that Rudolph wants to get out of it because I'm poor. He's a miserly little wretch.
Well, I shouldn't go so far as to say that. I should rather describe him as an enthusiastic collector of coins of the realm, and we must not be too hard upon a numismatist if he feels a certain disinclination to part with some of his really very valuable specimens. It's a pretty hobby. I've often thought I should like to collect some coins myself.
Papa, I'm sure there's someone behind that curtain. I saw it move.
Yes, Your Highness,
Then,
you're absolutely right.
no doubt, they are coming. Now, mind you, peers, haughty affability combined with a sense of what is due to your exalted ranks, or I'll fine you half a franc each. Upon my soul, I will.
There's a gong. The curtains fly back, and the court are discovered. They give a wild yell and rush onto the stage, dancing wildly with the prince, the princess, and the nobles, who are taken by surprise at first, but eventually join in a reckless dance. At the end, they fall down exhausted. Ludwig speaks.
Now, what do you think of that? That's our official ceremonial for the reception of visitors of the very highest distinction.
It's very quaint, very curious indeed. Prettily footed too, prettily footed.
Would you like to see how we say goodbye to visitors of distinction? That ceremony is also performed with the foot.
Really, this tone, but perhaps you not completely grasp the situation.
The situation? Not altogether.
Then I'll give you a lead over. I am the father of the Princess of Monte Carlo. Doesn't that convey any idea to the ducal mind?
Nothing definite, no.
Very odd. Never mind. Try again. This is the daughter of the Prince of Monte Carlo. Do you take?
No, not yet. Go on, don't give it up. I dare say it will come presently.
Very odd. Never mind. Try again. 20 years ago, little doddle, two little doddle,
Dawdling here.
happy father, hers and yours. Proud mother, yours and hers. Ha! Now you take. I see you do. I see you do.
Nothing is more annoying than to feel that you've not been the equal to the intellectual pressure of the conversation. I wish he'd say something intelligible, for God's sake.
You didn't expect me?
No, I grasp that. Thank you very much. No, I did not expect you.
I thought not, but at last I have escaped from my enforced restraint.
Tannhauser, get the straitjacket.
No, you misunderstand me. I mean, I paid my debts. You see, I have invented a delightful little wheel of fortune, which I have named the roulette wheel. Listen.
Take my advice when deep in debt. Set up a bank and play roulette. At once distrust, you surely love. The bank is
But my darling Grand Duke, I'm afraid that even now you don't quite realize who I am.
She embraces him,
You forward little hussy! How dare you!
and she takes the princess away from Ludwig.
You mustn't do that, my dear. Never in the presence of the Grand Duchess, I beg.
Oh, Papa's got a Grand Duchess!
A Grand Duchess, my good girl. I've got 3 Grand Duchesses.
Well, I'm sure. Papa, let's go away. This is not a respectable court. But I cannot permit Rudolph to keep a museum.
Rudolph, get along with you. I'm not Rudolph. Rudolph died yesterday.
What?
Quite suddenly, of a cardiac affection.
Of a
cardiac affection?
Yes, a pack of cardiac affection. He fought a statutory duel with me and lost. And I took over all his engagements, including this imperfectly preserved old lady, to whom he had been engaged for the last 3 weeks.
3 weeks. But I've been engaged to him for the last 20 years.
20 years?
It's all right, my love. They can't get over that.
I can't get over that.
He's yours. Take him and hold him as tight as you can.
My own.
Here's another, the 4th, in 4 and 20 hours. Would anybody else like to marry me? You, ma'am, or you, anybody? I'm getting used to it by now.
But let me tell you, ma'am.
Why, you impudent little hussy!
Oh, here's another. Poor ladies, I'm very sorry for you all, but you see, I've a prior claim. Come, away we go. There's not a moment to be lost.
At this moment, Rudolph, Ernest, and the notary appear. All kneel in astonishment.
My goodness.
Forbear! This may not be.
Frustrated are your plans? With paramount decree, the law forbids the banns.
The law forbids the banns.
Not a bit of it. I've revived the law for another century.
No, you didn't revive it. You couldn't revive it. You, sir, are an impostor.
Impostor?
Got a tuppenny rogue, sir.
Great.
You never were, and in all human probability never will be, Grand Duke of anything.
What?
Never. Oh, my internal economy.
That's absurd. You know, I fought the Grand Duke. He drew a king and I drew an ace. He perished in inconceivable agonies on the spot. Now, as that's all settled, we'll go on with the wedding.
Oh, it isn't settled. You can't. Tell him. Someone tell him I can't.
Well, the fact is, there's been a little mistake here. On reference to the act that regulates statutory duels, I find it expressly laid down that the ace shall count invariably as the lowest, not the highest.
Lowest?
Yes,
the lowest.
As the lowest, as Judge Wapner says, the lowest. You are the ghost. The ghost is... Oh, what is the matter with me inside here?
And the Grand Duke Rudolph attacks poor Ludwig in song.
Well, you're a pretty kind of fellow, thus my life to shatter, oh, my little...
Well, Julia, as it seems that the law hasn't been revived, and as consequently I shall come to life in about 3 minutes, or...
My objection falls to the ground. Very well.
Oh, darling.
And am I to understand that I was on the point of marrying a dead man without knowing it? Oh, my love, what a narrow escape I've had.
Oh, you are the Princess of Monte Carlo, and you've turned up just in time. Well, you're an attractive little girl, you know, but you're as poor as a rat.
They retire happily up together.
That's all very well, but what is to become of me?
To Ludwig,
If you're a dead man...
the clock strikes 3. That clock definitely needs some repair. I say, the clock strikes 3. Yes, that's much better, and...
But I'm not! Time's up, the act is expired, I've come to life, the parson is still in attendance, and we'll all be married directly.
Hooray!
Hooray! Oh my God,
Okay.
we've made it.
We very much thank you for joining us for this episode of The Grand Duke, or The Statutory Duel. Our thanks as well to the very talented KBCS players. And for this production of The Grand Duke, we feature Jeff Hogan as Grand Duke Rudolph, Jerry Tracy as Ernest Dimkopf, John Moore as Ludwig, John Price as the lawyer Dr. Tannhauser, Dan Reinking as the Prince of Monte Carlo, Deanne Odom as the Princess of Monte Carlo, Penny Vracopoulos as the Baroness von Krakenfeld. As Julia Jellicoe, we heard Meredith Hunt, and as Lisa, Deanne Odom. And with that marvelous performance of the Grand Duke, thank you players, we conclude our survey of the 14 comic opera masterpieces of Gilbert and Sullivan. It was our great pleasure and certainly our honor to present them to you, and our special thanks to Caitlin Sullivan here at KBCS for her support and encouragement, and for having had the strength of her conviction that local public radio need not rely solely on playing music and rebroadcasting shows produced in New York or L.A. If you enjoy this sort of programming, please call the station and let us know. Let's round out the half hour with a personal selection of some of the best of Gilbert and Sullivan. Thanks for listening.
Me gallant crew, good morning, sir.